Hey everyone, my name is David Dunbar, or the Theme Park Evangelist. It is time for the next Life as a Working Disney Cast Member vlog. So this one is going to be titled Enduring My First Summer Working at Tomorrow Land Speedway. So keep in mind, when I did work at Disney the very first summer, I was working over at Hollywood Studios, and at least I had the ability to go over to the freezer every time I was getting too overheated and just kind of shut myself in for a little bit and cool down. I also had the soda fountain so I could like get soda or water. So the previous summer was not too hard. It was kind of hard. But this was going to be the very first summer that was going to be excruciatingly hard or whatever. And the reason why is because of the fact that this was the very first summer. I literally had to learn to be completely outside with basically whatever they gave us. So apparently they were experts in this because I learned that they had like tons of water pitchers. So they had one that was literally on the outside of this wall, out of view, and it was just plain ice water, which is good because ice water is a lot better for you. Then they had this other thing that was a lot like Gatorade and Powerade, and they would put this over at the outdoor break area, and they didn't always make it. It's called Squitcher. It tasted really really good, and almost got, oh my goodness, it would regenerate your re-energize your electrolytes, and I just like the fact that it had a lot of sugar in it. That was the biggest reason why I liked it so much. And I think they had like one other one they had outside that was just water as well. Usually the Squincher was the smaller containers and the water was the bigger containers. And they also put a small water cooler over a bridge because it was too difficult for us to bring water over to a bridge. And that person at the end of the night was required to bring the water pitcher back. We would dump out all the water at the end of every night, rinse it out, and then we would replenish it in the morning. And Cosmic Ray Starlight Cafe was very nice to us every morning, so they would let us go over to their building in the mornings, and their building in the morning. I don't know why I said buildings, and they would let us get ice and fill up all of our containers, and then we would bring it back, and then we would put water in it. I don't believe we ever put the water in it there. I don't even remember where on earth we got water at anymore. It's been so long. Oh, now I remember. We got our water from the utility. So we had these giant, water coolers that we get brought in, and we always kept so many, in our area alone, and then whenever they were empty, we would take them back downstairs and we would switch them out for full ones if they ever actually brought in full ones. It happens sometimes, and that was always done at night too. So, during the summer, of course, we were going through a lot of water. So whoever's closing would be responsible for that. And also, we would take all the dirty towels with us and take them downstairs, and we would switch them up for clean ones. Because, we needed towels to cool ourselves down with. And I think we also kind of used it to clean a little bit with. But mainly, it was there for us to cool ourselves down with, more so than anything. So a lot of the work was done overnight and then first thing in the morning before we opened. So usually between 7:30 and 9, like I would say more so 8 to 9 than any time. And then of course you already know late at night after the park was already closed. A lot of stuff was already getting done prior to the next day. And this would be a lot less work on the people at night. So I mean, less work on the people in the morning. So the reason why more work was done at night is Disney is one of those places that has more work to do in the morning versus at night. Like Test Track, I can't even stress how much work it is to open the attraction versus to close the attraction. Like I can tell you right now, Aliens Rolling Saucers, Slinky Dog Dash, Toy Story Mania, Test Track, Tomorrow Land Speedway, Spaceman, all that is a lot of work to open up in the morning, but at night it's easy. Like Tomorrow Land Speedway, all you literally have to do is put all the cars away, you're done. And that's progressively done throughout the night. Test Track, from what I was told, all the cars just kind of get emptied out as the night gets, is done, and then you leave all the cars there at night and you power down the attraction, you're done. Alien Swirling Saucers, I worked at night multiple times, and all we literally had to do was just keep the ride running until night. I would emergency stop the entire ride, I would power down the entire ride, and that was pretty much it. That, as crazy as that is. And I didn't even have to do alarm silence on the emergency stop because every time we would emergency stop the ride, normally you would have to alarm silence because there's this alarm that would go off. But at night, all you would literally have to do is press the emergency stop, power down the ride. You're done. Because it honestly is not that much work closing down the ride. So the reason why it's a lot of work opening the ride for the day is because, like any ride for the day, is because of the fact that you have to go through your entire checklist. You have to make sure that this is running properly, this is running properly, this is running properly. The ride's been closed all night long, so you have to make sure that, everything is going to work properly prior to running it that morning. So it's more important for the cast members to make sure everything is running properly. So food and beverage was one of those things that was actually more work in the morning, sorry, at night than in the morning, which is weird. So the reason why, of course, as I said, that we would have the people that were closing and attractions take care of the majority of the stuff is because they literally had it easy. Like, not everybody had to worry about stacking cars at night either. Some of them just got to make sure that the guests got to enjoy all their last minute rides for the night, and then some people would take care of the trash. Some people would go and spray down the track with chemicals. Some people would help put away cars for the night. Some people just got to go right home, and then there was a few people that had to go and take care of the water and the towels, and that was it. You were done. You got to go home. It was pretty easy. Most coordinators would tell you they prefer closing, and that was, definite. It was, nothing to it. It was very basic, very laid back. Most people that worked at night were very laid back anyway, versus in the morning, more people were uptight. There was a lot more responsibility, so yes, I can understand why the morning would be a lot more stressful. I can tell you right now, because of how hot it was in the morning at Tomorrowland Speedway, I would have preferred closing because you were coming in when it was pretty hot, but you also knew in the back of your mind, well, really more like that it was going to get cooler as the day progressed on. And oh my goodness, 70 degrees at night felt great. Like, it could be 11 o'clock at night, and it felt absolutely incredible. It was pitch black out. Oh, the only lights that were on were the lights on in the park. There was no more sun anymore. So yes, I definitely prefer closing during the summer. And in fact, I think I shouldn't say I think. I kind of wish that my availability was the close only during the summer, but unfortunately, because I was part time at Disney, I had to put down that I could work whenever. And honestly, if I could have, I would have asked please put me down on closing. I think most of the time I did close, but every now and then they had to have me open it. But I'll tell you right now, opening at Disney during the summer is a nightmare. So let's say I come in at 6 in the morning. So it's so humid that it feels disgusting. So you have to go out there like you normally would. It's humid out, it's hot out. It's not even, the sun's not even completely out yet, but it feels worse at that time of the day. So you go out, you do your normal, you have to fill up all the cars, you have to drag around this big heavy hose throughout the entire property back area, filling up all 100 plus cars or whatever we had again. And then you have to go and top off all the. Sorry, I'm itchy. They have to top off all the oil on all the, or brake fluid, I should say, on all the cars, because that was the one thing were responsible for, was the gas and the brake fluid. Then we would go and put all these cars out. By the time you're done, you already need a shower, so it was pretty bad. And then come 9 o'clock in the morning, it was starting to get a little easier, but you already feel gross. Like, already, I've gotten my workout for the day. And then usually come 12 o'clock or something like that, it was already getting ready to rain. And of course, you only had a few more hours left, so even if you did get wet, hey, at least you were getting out of there soon. Like, sometimes opening was kind of nice in the sense that if it did rain, you're going to go home soon. Or sometimes you were very fortunate and you were going home literally right before it rained. Like, I thought it was funny. Sometimes it's getting ready to rain, and then I got a little slip of paper saying it's time for your bump out. So I would literally go to the computer, the CDS cast deployment system, as fast as I could, and I go clock myself out, and then I would make a run to the bus, and then I'd get on to the parking lot. I'd go to the back of the parking lot as fast as I could, because a lot of people work during the summer. And I get in my car, and literally just in time because it would start to rain, I was like, yes. And then, of course, if I ever close, and most of the time I got stuck in the rain, but I can tell you right now, whenever I did work during the summer, it was hot. Because you guys already know how I felt during the morning, and then, of course, I would have to keep myself cool. I had to drink a lot of water. I had to put ice towels on my face. And sometimes I just squeeze it all over my body. It's just like, I'll do anything to stay cool. It's like, this is awful. I'd never seen so many cast members just come and ask people, do you need anything? Do you need a water break? Do you need any water? Do you need a restroom break? Do you need to go cool down for a few minutes? It's like, it seemed like almost every 30 minutes to an hour they were asking us that. It was great. They were definitely on top of it. They definitely know that nobody should be outside that long, without any kind of water break or any kind of break period. They didn't want anybody overheated. They didn't want anybody dropping like flies. And unfortunately, the entire time I was working at Tomorrow Land Speedway, I did see a few people pass out, but they were definitely on top of it. They knew what they were doing. Disney reacted very appropriately and got people out of there. And it wasn't necessarily guests; it was employees, which is scary. But as I said, Disney knew what they were doing, and they handled everything very appropriately. So I was very happy about that. I'm very fortunate that I never passed out while I was out there, and Disney would never allow me to dehydrate myself in any way, shape, or form because they didn't want me to dehydrate myself, period. And, between the heat and the carbon monoxide that you constantly were around, you have to be careful. And I unfortunately did see a few guests that were passing out due to the heat because a lot of people, they come to Disney and they're like, oh, it doesn't get that hot. Well, you don't know. You don't really know how hot Florida can get unless you've actually lived there. And I'll tell you right now, whenever I go to Florida, I'm not even used to the heat anymore, so I'm constantly drinking water because I know that it was hot because I've lived there. And I know if you don't drink enough water, you will pass out. So when I go back, I'll be drinking a lot of water. And one thing I never not take advantage of is whenever I go to Disney, I always make sure that I drink more than enough water whenever I'm at the parks because something that Disney started offering back a few years ago while I was working there is complimentary water. So every Starbucks, almost every quick service restaurant has courtesy water or complimentary water. You can even go to Town Hall, which is literally right next to Tony's Square Dining Theater at Magic Kingdom, and they have complimentary water there as well. While you're waiting to, see your photos, or while you're waiting to go and eat at Tony's, a lot of the sit down restaurants are trying to do this now. They're trying to give you like complimentary water to drink while you're waiting. I remember when 50 started doing that. It was kind of nice. 50's Primetime Cafe. Sci-Fi Dining Theater does this as well. It's very nice. It's a nice, cool drink to have while you're waiting to get to your actual meal. Disney is very good about keeping your drinks refilled at all times while you're in there. Don't ever be afraid to tell them you need something to drink because Disney does not want to see you passed out. That's for sure. You guys should all know by now. Disney's number one priority is safety. It's Disney's number one key. It's safety, safety, safety. Safety is the reason why I end up getting thrown out of Toy Story Land, but that's another story for another time. And it's not like it was, completely my fault, but it was also kind of my fault too. But safety is something that I have known about since day one of working at Magic Kingdom, or well, I shouldn't say Magic Kingdom, but Walt Disney World in general. It's nothing new to me. Safety is something I've even known since I started working in general, and safety has just become more known to me ever since I started working at Disney World. Safety is such a big deal to Disney that you can't even cross that yellow safety line unless that tram has come to a complete stop. Now that the face masks are a very big deal. At least in some areas, not completely Florida, but at least Walt Disney World for sure. Disney has actually decided to start e-stopping the ride if you take your face mask off during the ride, which is crazy. I couldn't imagine working at Walt Disney World and being told I am allowed to e-stop a ride if someone takes off their mask. I'd be like, okay, but okay, whatever. And could you imagine everybody being like, oh, come on, really? But just keep in mind that you are allowed to do it because if someone takes off their mask, apparently you could be spreading COVID throughout the entire ride. But you never know. I would hope that you wouldn't be allowed in Disney if you had COVID. I would hope you wouldn't be allowed in Disney if you were sick, period. So it just seems a little extreme, but once again, as I said, Disney is very big about safety, and that's the reason why Disney is very big about making sure their employees and their guests are stay hydrated, especially during the summer when it's so hot outside. So right now it's very cold where I am, but eventually it's going to go away. It's going to get hot again, and when where I'm going in about a month, it's probably going to be warm or it might be kind of cold. So we'll see. I try to go to Disney when it's not that hot out because I could never endure another Florida summer again. That's all I know. Not unless I absolutely have to. Anyways, this chapter was not as long as the last one for sure. I can't tell who's been going in and out the front door. I don't think my brother's home yet, but I think that's going to be it for today. My next chapter technically is another summer story. It won't be that long. So I'll go ahead and kind of give you guys an idea of what the next chapter is going to be about. So something that started happening that particular summer, Disney was so excited about Incredibles 2 coming out, they decided they were going to retheme all of Tomorrowland to The Incredibles 2. So I'll never forget the Tomorrowland Incredible Expo. That was very interesting. And another interesting fact about working at Tomorrow Land Speedway during the summer is if all the rain comes a lot of lightning, so we have to close down the attraction quite often, and we have to keep the guests entertained when the ride closes down. And it was always funny when we had to close down the ride like 3 times in 1 hour because of so much lightning. And I remember us giving out incredible Tomorrowland Incredible Expo stickers to a lot of the guests and doing fun activities for the kids out front of the attraction all the time. And the managers would come by, and I remember one time they gave me a recognition for interacting with the guests. I was kind of happy about that. I was like, oh, this is great. The girls, honestly, I give more credit to because they were so good at the kids. But, it is what it is. The one thing I remember the most about working that summer was the fact that I was at Fast Pass and Greater quite a bit, and I got to meet a lot of the guests, and I got to see all the Tomorrowland Incredible Expo stuff. But I'll kind of go more over that in the next chapter. I think the next chapter I'm going to keep around 10 minutes. It shouldn't be too long. It was just one of those really interesting time periods where we did not play our normal music, and it seemed like it was never going to end. In fact, one of my coworkers made a complaint about it because it was that bad. Well, he thought so anyway. I thought it was okay. I thought it was a nice change. It was a nice little break, but everybody's entitled to their own opinion, I guess. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next vlog, and always remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Have a great day, and peace out.